Caribou Data Science Channel Midnight Madness. This is your Sunday edition. If you're in the background, thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to click that subscribe button and the like button for me, as well as the bell icon. If you're in the background, of course, stop by the chat session and say hi. Tell me who you are, where you're located in the world, and what's your interest in data science and data analytics, okay? So this would appear to be our working model. There it is. Let's go over here again. Well, this is finishing load. Let's go over here to ChatGPT and get back. See if we can get back to where we left off on when was it? Thursday at midnight. Rodney Howe. Okay. So there's that. Are we loaded? Yeah, we are. So we're all the way down to here. Okay. And this is the part where we're running into trouble right here. Okay, so let's run this. Let's do this. Let's run everything that's working. Okay. Just so we can see our progress. Block quotes. There we go. So all this is missing down there. So let's see if we can run this from the top and just check our progress. The original data has to do with polar activity on the sun. I don't really know the details, but it's provided me by Rodney Howe, the American Association of Variable Star Observers. And all the code you see here was generated by ChatGPT, okay, which is pretty impressive. I should say ChatGPT4o as an Oscar, O as an Omni, okay? Because from what I can tell, basically Omni has merged data analyst model into the main AI source. It'll probably take a minute or two for this just to get warmed up here. Starting the Linux 3 kernel. So let's go back over here then. So this is kind of where we're at. Okay. So it's starting the kernel, so it's done loading the kernel. Now it's going to start actually running the code. So we have 23 blocks of code to get through here. Although actually only 21 of them may actually be able to be run out. So, just a brief update on promotions. I've been running, I think I ran two $25 promotions last week, lasted like 3 days each. And I got 1,800 to 2,000, I think, views off of each one. But is it really worth it? I haven't really seen an increase overall in my views. Like the videos I did the other day or so, I don't see any increase in the views. So I would say overall, it's not really carrying over. It's not really rolling over into my regular videos. The people who watch the promotion aren't really coming back the next day or coming back and watching the second video. 20 to 23 blocks. Interesting enough, I actually lost 16 subscribers, which is kind of curious. There's two methods. There's two different choices. One is sort of targets towards subscriptions, and the other targets towards views. The views, interesting enough, the views, interesting enough, get more likes than the other than the subscribers and the subscribe function does. We're getting close now. Okay, let's just take a look at this over here. Well, yeah, I don't have any printers. The most I should have one printer, okay? North, south. Let's see what we got here. Nice library. Now let's mention again this. There's a function up at the top. Okay. It's part of Quattro. That is the code fold 2 equals true, okay? What that does, that hides the code, but you click that right here, and now you can see your code, all right? So this was just libraries, this was just a head function. Checked a few things there, no missing values, unique values. Again, this is the problem we had. We had a few rows that had XXX in them. So we fixed that down here. Then here's the new head, I think. Let's see somewhere. Summary statistics, okay. Alright. Let's see, 25 to, so this is a pretty big spread. You're going from minus 60 to plus 59. Okay? These are two interquartile ranges from the G North and the G South. Okay. You can see they both have pretty wide rectangle. Now what about the Contessa? The distribution of all numeric columns symmetric skewness, okay? Now we got histogram for all the numeric columns. North and south of particular interest. Okay? Notice you don't see any there. We can call this a bimodal. Of course, there's two peaks. We can, this is kind of, interesting, but as you can see, as the histogram suggested, there are really no outliers. And just as a reminder that this line here is a 25% quartile. This is 75, and this is median. Okay, and you can see that the medians are kind of moving around a little bit. Okay, particularly north and south. North and south are pretty well balanced in terms of the spread. South seems to be shifted a little bit more to the right, which is what you would expect up here when you see like the slight tail over here, not a big tail but a slight tail. Some of them are even more so. Look at this right here. Okay, correlation matrix and a correlation table. Now create scatter plots for the high positive correlation. Okay. Now I'm not sure what A means. So this is A versus R. R north versus R south. Okay. And A versus R north. Now what about come down here, RS versus R? RS versus A. South versus A. Let's proceed. Now you can see there's nothing here. What are we looking for here? We were looking for outliers, and there is no outliers. Okay. Let's proceed with time series analysis. Okay. The sample data. Here's a couple of test plots. Here we go. STL decomposition of GN. All right. Of GS. Of A. Of RN. So you can see that ChatGPT has done almost all the heavy lifting. Now these gaps here are kind of interesting to me. All right. And this is where we left off. I thought we are. Am I missing something here? Is this the same thing? Well, shoot, let's come down here anyway. I'm not sure about this. I keep thinking this looks the same as up there. This just says data. Okay, let's go back up here then. Well, let's run this section by section. And originally I did some data cleaning inside of a DuckDB database, but that kind of that didn't work because some of the columns had to start out as being characters in order to be merged. And again, if you're in the background there, stop by the chat session and say hi, okay? This will take a minute to fire up here. Okay, good. So we come down here then, run this, check missing values. Let's just do this. Let's just make this a also, okay? Now we come down here and we take care of the XXX's. Alright, so we see all this cohorts down there and all this. Some summary statistics. Now we calculate our quantiles. look at our kurtosis and our skews. Then we begin our plots. Good. Box plots. Run this. All right. Now we're looking for outliers, but there are none. Now we fix the date. Now we create a new column called date time, which contains the date and the hours and minutes. And then we're extracting the numeric columns. All right. To reduce some decomposition time series for numeric columns. Now it would be interesting to actually ask ChatGPT to explain one of these videos. Okay, good. That should be this here, I would think. We can make sure. Yes, it is. And this is where we run into problems here, I think. Let's see what happens here. Okay, I'm going to determine period from end. Okay, so we're going to come over here. And this is our task for this evening, okay? So what do you think about that error? This will probably take it a minute to think about this. So it looks like I got him stumped here a little bit, doesn't it? Now, there certainly is I don't really see I would say it's a cyclical pattern, not necessarily a seasonal pattern. Although you could consider the solar cycle to be a season, I guess. But there's a definite pattern to it. You look at sunspots, you look at dispolar activity. There definitely is a problem. Now the question is, can it go back from this and look at all the previous code and find out what the error message is? Well, the other thing, I'm kind of going from one extreme to the other, from going from data analytics with a computer to data analytics using a slide rule. But supposedly the first calculator was made by HP, and it came a pocket calculator by HP. It came out in like 1976, and almost immediately, the slide rule disappeared, and the companies that made slide rules disappeared. The first calculator in our family was a TI-30. And what's interesting is there still is a TI-30 to carry on that long tradition of calculators. Because this is a scientific calculator, but it's a TI-30X, so it's continuing the family name of the TI-30. Okay, and of course you got apps for your computer. Okay, or for your phone. Probably the most interesting one I have is this HP. Is this? It's a what's it called? A 42S. Okay, and this is a clone, an app clone of a classic laptop computer or calculator called HP42S. And the most interesting thing is that it's a RPN, a reverse Polish notation, which means you enter the actual function you want to do at the end. So instead of saying 2 plus 2 equals, you would say 2 enter plus. Then it would run the code. Okay, and you can actually buy clones of the physical versions of a clone of HP42 from a company called Swiss Micro, but they're pretty doggone expensive. Okay, and I'm still stalling here, waiting for and I've never seen this happen before, where it really has taken this long to understand a problem. Okay, here we go. Error indicates that the STL function is able to determine the period of the input data. This usually happens when the data does not have a clear periodicity or this is interesting. It's really not. I've never seen it go this slow before, and it completely stopped here. Okay, which is an interesting problem. change model. So let's come over here. And which data are we trying to use here? This is interesting. I mean, it's just sitting here and it's not doing anything. Then I refresh it. This is really interesting. So what it's doing is going back and it's recreating all the code. Good grief. Oh no. Unable to determine the period, we need to explicitly specify the period of the time series. The period represents the number of observations per cycle. You know what the trouble is here? It's getting confused with our columns. Interesting. Because there is no fixed column. There's one. Let's try this. Because we do have some trends code above us here, okay? And we could actually be recreating some of this code. I think it's always a possibility. So let's run this again here and see what happens. Because as you saw, we did have one seasonal component up earlier in the thing, but I'm not sure if it's the same thing or not. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Maybe I didn't actually need the extra set of. Okay, it does look like we're doing the same thing over and over again, doesn't it? Okay, so we're missing something down here. So let's try this one up here. So, let's close this again. very interesting as something like a candle plot, one that we have the north and south plotted and then the median in the middle or something, I don't know, a median in the middle. So we haven't really accomplished anything yet, have we? So this is going to be the continuing saga to number 5 here on Thursday at midnight, it looks like. We'll try to run that one chunk of code and see what happens. You know, the other thing is, let's see if we can get ChatGPT to interpret a decomposition plot for us. But it looks like some of the plots are repeating, doesn't it? Or maybe not, no. Okay, so it did run this time. Good. Let's go over here. Of course, this is probably one of those things where it's like really simple. You know, it's like, all you got to do is this. Yeah, because that's the most important part, is the peaks and the valleys analysis. This is interesting. Well, this isn't doing us much good, is it? Interesting. Let's run this one more time. Make sure we're getting all the errors correct. We could, of course, give it the code and data, say, hey, fix this code. Here's the data, here's the code, fix the code so that it all runs fine. Yeah. Not sure what's causing this. But anyway, I'm going to bring this session to a close. Sorry I wasn't very excited. I was hoping to get this last section fixed, but I wasn't able to. So we'll continue to bang our heads against the wall here on Thursday night at midnight. Maybe I'll take a look at it tomorrow afternoon sometime and see what's going on. But anyway, thanks so much for your time as always. Questions, comments in the comment section below the video tonight. All right. Thanks so much for your time. Subscribe, click the like button, and share. Okay. Thank you so much.